Have you ever felt like you weren't yourself? Like constantly wearing a persona, layering on one by one until it completely consumes you? That's the plot of You Are What They See, an act of constant anxiety, unwelcoming thoughts, and the crushing weight of each mask you don. The story revolves around a girl, an awkward high school girl and her daily struggles with social anxiety disorder and facial dysmorphia disorder. Here, every single interaction with others feels like a chore, where you have to draw the appropriate mask to please the people around her. At what point will the concept of her disappear, replaced by a hollow husk wearing an arbitrary mask made by others? Which is why you, the player, will act as either the voice of reason or the voice of desperation, leading the player to the path of resolution or deterioration. With heavy inspiration from the Duology, Elysium, and the serial experimental Lain, You Are What They See is a simple visual novel game that tackles the need to satisfy others, even if that meant you lose yourself, and even if that meant you don that mask dozens, thousands, and millions of times. The game plays like a traditional visual novel, but with a twist, where you have to assemble or draw your own expression as a response to any NPC. In every interaction, there will always be a canvas or a collage assembling minigame where you have to complete to decide your dialogue. And that is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to emphasize that intense stress people put on themselves to wear the correct mask that will appease the receiver, even when it shouldn't be that way. So here, let's take a look at the gameplay, where we haven't been able to flesh out the details or the story that well, but it is still a good amount of progress that we have made. In the future, we want to expand on the story further and improve the core mechanics. Currently, we only have a single ending, Deterioration, with a very basic gameplay, which will leave quite a negative tone or negative note to anyone who play our game, which was why we want to push the story further to eventually tell a hopeful ending rather than a depressing one. As for the gameplay, the current mechanic is very basic and doesn't have a decisive factor in the ending of the game. No matter what you draw, you will always end up at the Deterioration ending, which we don't want. We want to have different endings based on the emotions of the player expressed through the game. And we want to have a dynamic dialogue system depending on the girl's mood. Originally, we already had the full idea of this game fleshed out. You can see for yourself on this Figma page. We had a bunch of brainstorming session, a bunch of references we wanted to point to. Ultimately, we haven't got into them yet due to time constraints. But we will definitely try to expand on this game and finish what's left of it to finish our vision. And that's our game. Thank you so much for watching.